How about a quote of the night? Let's do a quote of the night. Now I have to find my quote of the night. It is right here. Ta-da! Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. And that is from Salvador Dali. And I was looking at a couple of quotes. I actually switched back and forth like a few times. There was one I really liked from Mary Tyler Moore. It was too long, so it has been saved in a different spreadsheet for future me to figure out how to do something with because I really liked it. And of course, it didn't fit because it was too dang long. Anyway, I need to clip something off of my finger, a little hangnail bothering me. Okay, there we go. Anyway, but what was the other one? Let me just look at it real quick. Oh, yes. The reason I picked this is because of recent events, but also the course over this last year. So I'm a big overthinker. If you are new here, then you may not know that about me. But if you're not new here, you will know that I overthink things all the time. And a lot of times I will let overthinking stop me from doing things. I get overwhelmed with too many possibilities. I obsess over how I'm going to execute it. And then I tend to either not do the thing or take way too long to actually start doing the thing. And so there are things that I have been doing as of late that a year ago would have been things that either would have stopped me from doing anything or would have been definitely cause for me to sit there and think and think and think and think. And some of that is based in like some level of fear, you know, fear of not getting it quite right, of not doing it good enough, or, you know, I'm not terribly concerned with judgment. I mean, when you put yourself out on the internet particularly, but just in real life every day, at work, with friends, you know, other people, you know, other people's, I don't know, that's not how I phrase that, like other parents at school, you know, like interacting with the world, there's always the possibility that, you know, someone will judge you or think you're not doing a good enough job or like you won't phrase. I mean, I'm I'm a weird combination of socially awkward and not socially awkward. And once I get comfortable, I run my mouth, which can also make me like go, should I be doing that? But also there are times where it's like, if I don't speak up, no one else will. Whether or not they think of the things that I do and don't say anything, or whether they don't think of those things at all. Generally, it's better to have more people in a conversation, especially if you're trying to like troubleshoot or whatever. I think about it in a lot of times in context relative to work, because it took me a long time to really feel like even though I don't have the same background as my colleagues, doesn't mean that my opinions aren't valid. And maybe even not, I wouldn't say more so, because that's not really right. But like, it's important for me to speak up because I can voice somebody like a completely different type of person and a different perspective. And that can be really, really useful, especially when you're talking about development of, you know, things that have functionality concerns from like multiple different perspectives and multiple different I don't know, outlets isn't the right word. There's a word I'm trying to think of. Of course I can't think of it now because that would be helpful and make me sound eloquent. But we have public facing things, and we have people that are, you know, coming at the information and the systems that we use from all different angles, and me thinking of things that my colleagues wouldn't think of that all have relatively similar backgrounds, can be really useful because they probably won't think of it in any way like I do. I also tend to come from like the physical side of things as opposed to the data side of things. Not that data doesn't make sense to me. It's just I have more experience with the physical than most of them do, but also because that is my job. But it can be, you know, applied to other things as well. Anyway, making the first video I ever made, doing the first live stream I ever did, talking to people in a real way, like how I really am, and trying to articulate the brain circus that's constantly going on. That all has like this element of just take a chance, just do it anyway, just see what happens. You can always refine later. Me being here right now isn't life or death. Somebody comes in here and says you're trash, Okay, well, first of all, that probably means I'm not for you. Second of all, it means that I'm not perfect yet. And guess what? I can't ever be. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I have right now, and I'm going to learn and keep growing. And that has been something that has been changing. It's interesting to me now to consciously acknowledge when I do things that I couldn't have done or wouldn't have done, not couldn't have done, but wouldn't have done a year ago. Tonight, I had to wrap up quickly my Dream Snaps video because yesterday was when I should have filmed it and my computer crashed 3 times for who knows what reason. And I actually didn't get to film it last night. I had to hurry and film it this morning. So I usually include like how long it took me, how many minutes, how many hours, whatever. It's usually an hour and a half max. So it's not as realistic of a number because I started and stopped like 3 times. Now I never actually fully got the thing developed and all of that. So I mean, it's gonna look like it took less time than it actually probably would have if I sat and had to do it all at once. But I couldn't make it happen last night, but I could make it happen this morning. Now, does that mean I made the best dream snap I probably possibly could have? No, but odds are it would have been about what it ended up being anyway. I just happened to get there a little bit faster because I'd already had like a little checklist of objects that I had found. But the final touches and the finagling of all the pieces definitely was still something I did this morning. But that meant that I had to start the editing process, finish the edit before work, and then finish it after work. But in between, like work and getting home and setting up for stream, which means I also have to create thumbnails and I also have to do music. And I didn't have quite enough. I had music, but I didn't have it in like the right lengths to math out to be the video I needed it to be. So I had to go look for a song and download the song and move it over to my folder and then make sure I get all my credits in and all of that. And it just became a just do this, just do this, just do this, just do this. And I don't know, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, definitely a year ago, I wouldn't have been able to pull that out in about an hour in between getting home from work, while eating, getting the daily download from my family, like all the things that come in conjunction with. But it's become something I'm getting more comfortable with. Doesn't mean I'm like super awesome at it. It just means that I have gotten past the fear and the overthinking stage of getting it all right. It may not be perfect, but it was easier, and easier usually means, okay, now I'm able to build in some more things and like work on making those easier. And then I build in more things and I make the, refine, review, all of that. Anyway, that is why the action is so important. It's so important to just try, because a lot of times when you try, you start to realize that there are things that you thought were going to be super hard aren't as hard as you think, or at least getting started on them. Now, it doesn't mean mastering them is easy, but like the starting, and it's usually your head can trick you so bad. Like it could just make you go crazy. And I certainly get into that mode sometimes. The other thing that happened was I streamed a craft stream on Sunday, and I was just listening back to it just to see if like how the sound was, how the video looked, all of this stuff, just to kind of double check. And the music was a bit too loud. It wasn't oppressive, but it was more, it was a more competition with my speaking than I would like it to be. It's supposed to be ambient, and it's also supposed to theoretically allow me to shut my mouth and let the music just play occasionally, which, again, if you've been here before, you probably know that I have a hard time shutting up. But that's what it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there. It's just kind of a background filler, making sure there's no dead air. And it was louder than I thought it was supposed to be. So I'll have to tweak it, which is fine. But, I still did the thing and I had a great time, It was nice to get back to painting. It was nice to do something a little different than I had been doing on stream for a while. And yeah, I'll just tweak it and we'll fix it and it'll get better, and may not be perfect, but we'll learn and we'll grow and we'll keep moving forward and taking action. And and not getting caught up in, oh no, that sucked. Oh God, that was terrible. It's fine. We'll live. It'll be okay. Thanks for dropping in. If you want to hang out, I stream live on Twitch and YouTube Thursday evenings and middays on Sunday. I hope you have a lovely day, night, time, wherever you are, whenever you are. I'll see you next time.